This is, I really need that to, that's more, nothing. Logitech. Can the
Okay. Salter, put something else on. Salter, just put something everyone agrees.
Pasta's ready. If no one's sitting, you guys aren't eating.
What do you But we made sure that each chamber is sized so that the 1.3 is water quality product fully in.
Tell me that, the ultimate, contention structure there adjacent to the wetlands. What is the, elevation of the bottom of that structure in relation to the elevation of the, wetland boundary?
It's about at the same level.
Same level.
So we're cutting about 2 to 3 feet from that area to get the bottom of the basin, that building up the berm on the downstream side. So it's about.
So the bottom of that basin will probably be saturated.
Well, we'll dig that. When we dig the perks, what we'll do is we'll dig down to that. Like I said, it's about a 2 to 3 foot cut. So we'll dig our perk test down that 2 foot area and then pass it.
But if it's the same elevation as the wetland, and the wetland or the drain,
That would be our expectation, because when soil scientists go out, they dig, they do the core samples. So they would have taken core samples in this area. And like I said, 2 independent soil scientists did agree that it was an upland soil.
correct. But if you're digging down and you have the soil, same elevation as the wetland soil, you may have to set the building.
Understood, we may. And that's something we're going to go after.
Service is not.
It is, the total impervious coverage is going to be 52.8%. So that
Property.
So it's 8.4 acres. You'd be looking at about 4.25 acres. Total impervious. Well, property. Yeah, 52.8. Which is below the industrial zone allows up. Like I said, we did have some concepts that were more expensive. Deciding on necessary balance. Buildings and driveways and keeping enough green space for stormwater runoff. All sorts of areas.
Anybody else? Any questions? Anybody from the audience have any questions for? If not, Jim, you have anything?
Nothing other than one.
Okay.
Was
Great, great.
a part of,
We'll make that one good. Yeah.
certainly work with the applicant. If something changes drastically, we'll put that in the revision.
Yeah, and if it does come up, you're concerned with the elevation of bottom of the basin. If it does come up that we dig down to deep whatever standing water, it doesn't hurt, would make the necessary revisions to the basin. And if Jim deemed that a significant enough revision, then we'd have to come back in front of the
When do you anticipate doing the third test? Is that something that's?
You have to wait for the graphic off, so probably March or April. March or April, that would.
Seasonal high groundwater.
Correct.
Yes, it would be. I'm sorry.
It would be a good time to do it, March.
When you do the third test, you do, the boring water, as well,
We can.
boring wax. Soil. Patient modeling,
We could evaluate that.
that would probably be helpful to you, right?
If there's no other questions or comments, I'd make a motion to close the public hearing on application 24-09W. Second. All in favor? Now, can I have a motion to approve or deny the application? If we approve it, yes. No, I'm saying, with the conditions that, with perk test and the soil test, the oil water separator under the guidance of staff. Reason.
The approval's conditioned on.
Yeah, right. I would think that, I think it would be, I mean, Jim is gonna be,
If we find that there are significant if the conditions and any testing of the conditions that are required, requires some significant changes in that plan. Once the applicant to come back for a revision for that system.
You said that they would be willing to come back if there was a change, correct?
If there were substantial changes.
Yeah,
Would you be more comfortable if they were required to come back anyway, everything, even if everything looks great? Put it for us?
Well, I don't think that would appropriate to take that action this evening.
As long as they meet all the criteria that was set forth, they meet all that, approves it. And I think that, it's no reason for it to come back.
I can certainly advise the commission of our findings and make a determination at that point whether or not. That's certainly the point. Keep in mind that the applicant will still have to go before the planning and zoning commission for approval. Let's say that they make changes that are significant. I shouldn't say significant, but basically any change to the footprint, the design of the drainage system per se, on their behalf would require the applicant to come back to this commission for revision so that everything matches, right? In terms of revisions of colors. Correct. So I think we should have 25 dash
20,
24 dash
24 dash,
24 dash.
with the conditions stated.
My staff.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Thank you much. Next, the regular meeting, application 25 proposal by Western Real Estate Holding a 20,000 square foot office slash warehouse associated with the upper New area on lot 18, lot 133, Rock Drive. You're up.
What is this,
That's not. Thanks. Take care.
He recommends casting federal engineer principal. Casting in this 630 Main Street. So with, before you last month, at which time we presented our application for the development of vacant parcel from the parcel referred to on 18. There's no physical property address at this point. The property itself, outlined right on this plan, consists of 1.73 acres. Clark Drive is on the top, north up, so it's on the south side of Clark Drive. It's bounded on the east and on the west by two existing industrial buildings on Clark Drive, and it's bounded on the south and bottom by existing residents, one right away. Take a look at the end of the package of this condition survey. What you find is that the topography of the site actually starts at a high point of 1 east of the boundary here at an elevation that is about 81 and actually slopes in the easterly direction down to a low point of this property, about 48. There is a small area of wetlands at the southwesterly corner of the property. This was obtained from subdivision plan. The site primarily consists of secondary growth. It's been cleared several times in years as other developments proposed on it. It is heavily wooded along the south side with the city streets. There are all public utilities on the roadway. You have public sewers, water, gas on the other side of the road, in addition to this big storm drainage system within the road. The applicant proposed to move to development with a single-story one building with a total footprint of 20,000 square feet, represented by the top tan rectangle on this plan. Associated with the development of the building, we're going to be looking at having two driveway curb cuts. The driveway curb cut at the northeasterly corner of the site to provide access to the front parking lot, consisting of 29 parking spaces. Along with there'd be a loading space. The building would be broken up into 4 separate spaces. So there's a loading space in front of each one of those 7 spaces. There's a second driveway that's going to come in on the northwesterly side of the site, down the westerly side of the building to the back. They provide access to additional doors on the back side of the building. You'll notice that the two parking lots and the driveway are not connected. That's because we need to take up the difference in grade. The front portion is going to be about 4 feet higher than the rear portion of the site, so trying to park 5 feet. We are not proposing to make that connection to the site. As part of zoning requirements, we are required to provide a 35-foot landscape buffer between us and the residential districts. So you'll see that we are planting stagger growth evergreens in addition to, we're looking at keeping a lot of the existing vegetation that's out there. And to minimize grading, they are proposing a retaining wall down at the end of the property to make up 10 minutes grade. For storm drainage, the images of the design, as I mentioned, there's an existing system in the roadway diverting water from the site, goes to that existing drainage system. Because everything's sloping in this westerly direction, you'll see that all we're proposing to do is have a series of catch basins on the driveway on the west side and then on the front parking lot. Those catch basins will collect the water in sheet flow from the front parking lot, rear loading area, along with a drain of water produced building tying into that system, and then discharging into a stormwater basin. That linear stormwater basin we are proposing to direct along that westerly property line, ultimately going through a outlet control structure and then tying into the system. This will be a wetland basin. We did do some soil testing in this area, initiated the project. We did find groundwater elevations anywhere from 24 to 30 inches down. The bottom of the basin, kind of like the previous application, will actually be above this wetlands that's on that's going to get the southwesterly where the site is about actually a foot above, but right on the grade with the bottom of this basin, so groundwater will be 24 to 30 inches above the bottom of the basin. In addition to the basin is designed not only to attenuate peak flows post-development, but it's also designed to treat stormwater quality for the new DEP 2024 stormwater quality required to capture and treat the first 1.3 inches on off the site. So what we're going to do is the bottom 1 foot of the basin will be designed to capture that first flush, we call it, treat it, and then anything higher than that will give the structure and then to drain this basin, again, it's been really wet. There would be a people at the very bottom of it, so it can drain out all the way. We are proposing to drain it with seed mix of condition. Other utilities. One thing you'll have lots of subdivision, as I mentioned, it's bringing water service in, not only potable water, but also fire protection into the building, and ultimately looking at defensive worker, what these items depending upon whatever source decides where they want that transfer located. And also, as I mentioned, gas across the road service. All the utilities are coming in front of the no percent, but
Jim, just a quick question. You got water service. Are you combining the domestic with the fire system?
no, I put that outline. So what does this ultimately mean? Commissioner to mention we have the wetlands area at this bottom quarter. I have the red line in this plan for 70 from that wetlands. So we do have activities within the upland. The activities consist of the creation of the storm drainage system. There is a concrete path downstream here, the creation of the driveway, this area here. So ultimately, we're looking at the area in the upland. The upland area about 3,700 square feet for the development of the site. I'll note that there's no direct impact to the wetlands. I'll note that we have no direct discharge to that wetlands area. Ultimately, what happens with this wetlands area, it actually discharges to the rear yard. Some of the houses on Redwood, then they go back through a culvert on the whole industrial park, eventually comes out to the detention basin. You see it on the side of dying associated with this development. So all the water is actually going to the same place. It's just we're not discharging anything to us. We're looking at wetlands, just as it is. Like with the other application, we also submitted so, I think one thing I mentioned last meeting, like, not creative plan is right now, this is the lower side of the property. They're proposing to put a stake silt fence, hay bales around all the catch basins and a construction entrance in this area here. My recommendation is that this is up to either a silt sock or a stake hay bales, for further protection of the wetlands in this area. And then the other thing that had come up with the last thing, I think Jim brought it up, when he was on Zoom, was that to incorporate AppTech filters in all the catch basins in this particular project, or for the other project. We only have 4 catch basins, so doing the AppTech filters would not be a big deal. We'd gladly accommodate that as part of this development. So with that, I'm going to conclude my presentation. And hopefully answer any questions that the commission may have.
In the event of a torrential downpour, is the system in the road that's gonna be picking up all this stormwater sized appropriately for that whole road?
I have to take a look at it. I mean, typically look back in the day when they developed this, correct me if I'm wrong, Jim, the system of the roads by designed for a 25-year event. Yeah, that's how they're typically designed.
Or for all the other residents too?
So all that would happen is if it did overflow, it would overflow towards the road, just like all the other developments in that industrial park.
Is there a catch basin in the bottom corner, right in front of there?
That's right here?
Yeah,
No, it's actually a single.
okay. But what I'm concerned about is that the grades are so great at that parking area. I'm assuming there's gonna be just trucks back there, not in the back of the building. What's to stop the water, any contaminated water?
There's catch basin here?
Oh, is that a
Oh,
catch
yeah.
basin?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
There's actually 2. There's one here and there's one here.
okay,
So that whole paved driveway,
Whole paved
that's all,
driveway.
and it's all curved.
Oh, yeah. It's all curved, yes. And there's 2 catch basins.
okay.
That all, like all the water from that driveway, along with there's a roof leader page coming into them.
Now, I'm just concerned that,
No.
with the grading.
Well, I was curious too, what is the grade from that curved edge of the pavement down to the wetland? Is that?
It's about 5 feet.
Oh, really? Is that high?
Over about 10 feet of,
Yeah, about 2 to 1 slope.
Oh, okay.
and that's just gonna be grass or?
Yeah.
Now, I assume you're not gonna have tractor trailer trucks driving
We
down,
cannot get trucks really back.
a box truck.
The reality is it's gonna be more like a contractor's building. It'll be small, like
Okay.
pickup trucks,
Pickup
small
trucks.
vans. You can't even get you could technically get what we call a single unit 30
Okay.
back here, which is like your deliveries box truck. But not much bigger than that. Even at that, they're not gonna really be able to park perpendicular to the building. They're gonna have to be parallel. So we see this more like contractor vans, small utility type van.
Anybody else have any questions or comments? Jim, you're okay with this, nothing? Nothing else, I'd like a motion to approve application or deny application of 25-02W.
Commissioner Roman will make the motion to approve application 25-02W.
Have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Yep.
Good night.
Thank you. All right, Jim, the other business with notice of violation. First up is Brendan Rook.
Yes, I actually had a conversation with the applicant planner, about a week and a half ago, shortly after, maybe it was a week or so after the last meeting. He had mentioned that the property owner called him, wasn't the direction of what he looking for, and reminded him, and told him many times that, first of all, was to remove all of the debris in the floodway, the piles of 30-foot high piles of firewood, which essentially had been removed. But along with that, we were finding separate new topo survey of the property, which would indicate, what's been changed. Material has been, extended towards or within the riverbank and the grade of the material in terms of, flood storage. So, we said we'd talk to the owner about it and we'll go from there. I know it's been frustrating. We've been dealing with this one property owner on a number of different issues on 3 of the properties that he owns at this, along the stretch of roadway. He's finally complied with the first concern we had in the so-called golf, indoor golf building. But we're still waiting to see just what we have and what direction we take. I can tell you that our legal counsel has sent correspondence along to him, and that occurred back early fall, this past year, finding him of his obligations. So, she's aware of it, and if to the point where we have to take it to the next step.
So that was the one where we were talking about putting a lien for a notice
Yes,
on the
yes.
deed or something?
Yeah.
So is that still progressing or is that?
I believe that has happened. She has sent a notice.
And
I
last
haven't
time,
seen a copy of it, but she's confirmed several times that it has been put in place.
and last time I drove by there and looked, wood pile is pretty much gone. I mean, I think there's still a little bit, but not nowhere near what it was.
Right, in the past.
Yeah.
You can see it from the Home Depot.
Yeah, right, yeah, right, yeah. And the next one is, Brickyard Road with the Kokomo. And if you read the minutes last time, it said that he had to comply with what the owners originally gave him with the Austrian fines and everything else by, June, I think it's 4th.
Yes, by our next meeting.
Right, yeah,
I mean, not our next meeting, or June.
June 4th meeting, right.
Yeah.
So, this is gonna stay on there, as a violation, as long as, the work is,
Until it's resolved.
until it's resolved,
Similar with the Deming Road.
right?
Unfortunately, these things are never, cured overnight.
Right. And we'll see if both of them get done. Anything else, Jim?
Oh, I can tell you one thing though, with the second notice on Old Brickyard, when planning and zoning took an action to approve an addition to the most northerly building, it's a concrete block building on that site. I requested they place a condition that the permit for the addition, I would not sign off on a wetland / public works standpoint until such time as restoration is complete. So,
Okay,
and he has yet to apply for that addition,
yeah, okay.
physically apply.
Right. Any other correspondence, Jim?
The only thing I have was, I handed it out this evening, is a correspondence from the Connecticut Association of Wetland Scientists, in terms of their annual meeting. It gives a description of, what will occur, I believe, the speakers. If anyone's interested, please contact either myself or Lisa, and we can either to get registered, it's, the fee is paid to allow you to attend. I know, Bill, you can obviously attend many of the sessions.
And I know that Jennifer, trying to pull it, didn't have to talk about it, but are we gonna get a written, a report of what our soil scientists
Yes,
found?
oh, yes, we will. We
Okay.
will, yeah, yeah. And there's one other thing I included in the package, and being away for a couple of weeks and then trying to catch up, we did receive, I've had several discussions with the representatives of the land trust in regards to a piece of property that they were deeded and they own on the Berlin Turnpike. It's almost like a flag-shaped lot that has its actual frontage on the turnpike is on the east side of the turnpike between the towing company, D&L.
Oh, yeah,
And they call it the old Watts Candy
Right.
Building on the corner of Middletown Road and Yellow Office
Right.
Building. They have a small strip of access from the turnpike, and then it opens up behind both of those adjacent properties. And, property owner to the north, as you can see in some of the photos, have encroached onto their property and they feel that there may be some wetlands disturbances. They've had several discussions with I want to say it was John Gagliardi from the Land Trust, or Mr. Gagliardi.
Rich,
Yes. And we just haven't, connected with who's going to come in within this town and chat about what they feel. They have
Some about digging a ditch or something along.
Disturbing a portion of the wetland enclosure to their property. But it's kind of a.
So that's like just north of Sage Park?
Yeah, it's north of Middletown.
Road.
Oh, okay.
No,
They
Middletown
go
Road.
along
Oh, okay, yeah.
How long ago did they deed that property to land?
I couldn't tell you, Dave, probably within the past maybe 10 years or so.
Oh, it's that's quick.
Yeah. I think it was originally owned, the last name of the family was Paul's Welding.
Oh,
They lived on one of the homes on the, be the north side of Middletown Road up on top of the hill.
now, how do they have access to that?
The land trust?
Yeah,
Well, through that strip
Oh.
on the turnpike.
okay,
It's by foot.
right, okay, I was gonna say, there's no parking or anything like that, yeah.
No,
So it's just a conservation area.
correct.
So who do they think is encroaching on it, the towing company?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The property to the north.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, you see that at the bottom of the agenda? It'll probably be there for quite a while.
Yeah. If nothing else, a motion to adjourn,
Motion to adjourn?
have a second? All in favor? Thank you. Yeah, a little bit quicker than last time. Yeah. Standing coming down the pipe, Jim?